Greetings, planty people, and welcome back to my jungle. So, today's video is all about plants that I feel like not a lot of people talk about and deserve a whole lot more hype. And all of these are relatively easy to find, so there's nothing like super rare on here. I don't have a lot of like really sought after crazy rare plants. I have a few uncommon, but anyway, I'm rambling. And all of these are quite different as well. I've tried to keep it quite varied because I know we all have different tastes, and I've tried not to include too many philodendron because, you know, I'm a big fan of philodendron, if you can tell by the background. Anyway, let's get going. First off, speaking of philodendron, ta-da-da-ta! So many plants have been in this pot. I'm just determined to keep it nice because I made this. So this, if you didn't know already, this is the philodendron red emerald. I think it's called like a iridescence. Anyway, red emerald, that's the easier thing to call it. So the reason why I really like this one and I think it deserves a lot more hype is because 1, it's really easy to find. 2, it's relatively cheap. 3, it's ridiculously easy to grow. So I got a cutting of this at a swap a while ago and it rooted so easily. You know when you have some plants that are a bit, you have to keep an eye on them when you take cuttings of them because they can rot really easily. This one I had not an issue with whatsoever, and I like this one. It's called red emerald because on the backs, can you see the red veining on it? And its stem is a kind of almost browny red. I just think it's really nice, and it's got that classic philodendron shiny leaf, relatively thick but not massively juicy leaves, just they're plump. And I found the plumper the leaf, the less you have to water it, so that's a good sign if you're a tad of an underwaterer. Can't relate, but there are some of you out there. I'm an overwaterer. And this one is growing relatively quite quickly as well. I've currently got it on one of those sticks that you find, you know, when it has the label of the plant in it. I keep them for this reason, and I've got some of that fancy Velcro. I think it came with a moss pole, so I was like, let's put you to use. So let me know if you've ever had this one. I really do recommend it. At first I wasn't like obsessed with it, you know when you like a plant but it's not one of your favourites, and I don't know, it's really grown on me, if you pardon the pun. I really like it. I just think it's beautiful, so underrated, really easy. Go get one. Go get one now. And one that's quite similar to that is the painted lady, which I have somewhere behind me. If you wanted something a little bit more quirky than this one, if this one's a little bit too boring for you, fair enough, get yourself the painted lady one instead, because instead of the red, it's more of a pink almost. And it has a gorgeous mottled yellow variegation on the leaves. And it's just as easy, just as fast growing. They are a bit more expensive though, that's the only thing. So if you're after one of them, get one of these. If you want something quirky, get one of those. Should we go for something quite different that you probably wouldn't expect me to like? So this is a weird one. So I got this one. Sorry, I've got a cat hair on my lip. It's not a moustache, I promise. So I got this quite a while ago actually. I got this at the RHS show. Now this is called the string of watermelons because each little bean, it has stripes on it. I was a bit like, shall I get this one or not? Because if you know me, I famously do not get on with string of pearls. Basically any of the string ofs, apart from this one and the string of hearts, I get on with. And I just kind of took the plunge. I keep it in a bright window and I hang it on the bar like this. And I only water it when the little beans, I'm just going to keep calling them beans, the little beans look a little bit puckered. And I think that's the same care as a string of pearls, so maybe I'll get one in the future. But I like this one because it's just different. It's different, and maybe because I get on with this one and not with a string of pearls, it's easier. It could be me just having a bit more experience with plants now, because it was a while ago when I tried string of pearls, but we move anyway. I just love this one so much. It's so weird looking. It's not as flimsy as the string of pearls. The stems are more fat instead of being more string-like. I think it gave me a little flower in the summer, so that's nice. I definitely think this one deserves more hype. The only thing is, they're a little bit tricky to find. I kept seeing them on Pinterest and I was like, ooh, you know how Pinterest be. It has loads of stuff that you can't get on there. And when I saw it at the RHS show, I just thought, screw it, I'm getting one. We'll see if it lives. And here we are. here we are. It's probably due water actually. They're looking a little bit wrinkled. I just think it's really cool and quirky. But look at those aerial roots. Do you see that there? I might have to propagate some of this and pass some on to my friends. Okay, so next plant, completely different, like I told you at the beginning. So this one, da-da-da-da, a begonia. Begonia. So this one, you may think, if you're not into your begonias, you might think that this is just the classic polka dot maculata. But if you look closely, it is actually a bit different. So this is the begonia tamaya, and I think it's related to the maculata. It's just different. It's like its quirkier cousin. And I got a few cuttings off a few different people, so I've kind of put them all together, and it's growing so much. Look how beautiful, like, it looks nice from the back, which a lot of my plants don't. And I've got it on this little trellis that I got at the Plantzbab, because this one likes to hang on to things, otherwise it's a bit like floppy. And I found a lot easier than the maculata, so if you struggle with that one, maybe try this one. I just think it's just that little bit more hardy, and I haven't got this one to flower yet because it's still relatively new. I think I've had it less than a year, so come summertime, maybe we'll get some blooms. If I do, I'll let you know. It'll be blooming beautiful. Usually when you see these online, they're like a big cane with like a bush on the top. So I don't know, is this different? I don't know. Maybe they're just grown like that for appearance. I don't know. Who knows? Let me know if you've tried this one, and if you do struggle with begonia, my biggest tip is they can be a tad thirstier than you think, and give it more light than you think. Not like blazing direct sun, just kind of near a bright window. And just give it a water, and it's a bit floppy. Actually, this one needs a bit of water. If you look, do you see the floppiness on that? It's usually a lot more rigid. You can feel when they're thirsty, which I like in a plant. I like it when they tell me what they want. And I have this one sat next to my other begonia maculata, so you can, when they're next to each other, you can really see the difference. Okay, next one. Not all of you will probably like this one, and that's totally fine. I just thought I'd throw something really weird in here because, I don't know, I really like it. I got it on a whim. I got it as, like, you know, you go to the reduced parts of garden centres and there's loads of weird things for like £2. Well, I got this for, I think, £3. So this is a Staghorn fern. Now, I usually stay well away from ferns because they're really, really hard to look after. I feel like it's a rite of passage as a plant collector to kill a fern at least once. But this one's completely different. It's thick. That's the word I'm looking for, thick. And it's got these gorgeous, oh, look at that little frond there. It's beautiful. So I keep, sorry, that really distracted me. That's so cute. So I keep this one in my bathroom, right? Because ferns like a humid, really bright, warm space, and that's the perfect space in my bathroom. And you know what? I think I only water this one like every 2 weeks. I've just given it a water now because it's not usually this droopy. It's a little bit more plop. I haven't had an issue with it at all. It's grown twice the size in a year, and I'm actually amazed at how easy this is. I think this brown bit was a little bit of an underwater issue, but I've learnt from my mistakes and it's growing a new bit here. But I don't know, I really like it. It's like a little dinosaur plant. A lot of people put them on a board, but I don't have the walls for that. I decorate my walls too much with pictures and trinkets, so I've got no room. So this just sits in this pot on top of the cabinet in a really bright, humid space, and it loves me. It loves me. I do kind of want to get another one. I really like them. I just think they're so weird. Like, how is that a plant? That's really weird. So if you're scared of ferns, but you want to try one of these, I say go for it. They're really not an issue. Light work, no reaction, easy peasy, squeeze the lemon. That was so many references in one. I apologise. Does anyone else just mainly speak in references, and then you talk to someone who doesn't and they're just like, what are you on about? Story of my life. Okay, next one. I think I've mentioned this one a few times, but I haven't mentioned it in a while, so I thought I'd include it. Let me go grab it. Da-da-da-da! So this, believe it or not, is a Syngonium. So this is a Syngonium tri-leaf wonder, and I just, maybe it has a bit of spider mite damage, but I can't see any spider mites. Okay, anyway, distracted. I have been a fan of this one for so long. I had this one 3 years ago and I had to chop it down because I had the thrips outbreak, you know what I mean, and it propagates like an absolute dream. It's finally getting big again and I'm just really happy with this plant because it's very philodendron like. So if you find yourself struggling with Syngonium because they have the thin leaves, if you overwater them they just melt, if you underwater them they just crisp up. Get yourself one of these. Like, that looks philodendron, doesn't it? That's just crazy. I just love it. It's so easy. No one talks about it and it deserves so much more love. I'm in love with her. And they can get pretty big as well. So if you grow it up a pole, oh, you'll get some massive results. And another Syngonium I always recommend is the Chiapensi. It's, my hand is on it there. That is another really easy growing one. This one's a little bit cheaper though, so if you want the cheaper one, get this one. If you want one that's also just as easy but grows really big, get yourself the Chiapensi. Oh, sorry, I just got my nose pierced and it's like, I keep feeling something on my nose and I'm like, ah! And next one. Oh, if you've been following me for a while, I think I mentioned this a very long time ago. So this is the peperomia scandins and this is the variegata version, and I just picked off a whole white leaf. That needed to come off anyway. But I love this one so much because look at how long it's gotten. And I've basically done nothing to it. So I have a window just above me there and I hang it on the rail, which means I do walk into it quite a lot. I did knock it on the floor one morning before work and this is such a resilient peperomia. I don't always get on the best with peperomia, but this one, just literally leave it alone in a bright spot. Just water it when it's droopy and that's that. And it propagates very nicely as well. It's just beautiful. It's like if you were to cross a philodendron scandens with a peperomia. Does that make sense? So I guess that's where the name comes from. But it's just such a gorgeous plant. I do want to get some of the null green one, maybe plant some in the top there to have a bit of variation with the variegation. Wow. But I just think it's beautiful. I think I got this at a random plant and pet shop 5 years ago maybe, and it was this big. Look at her now. It's one of my oldest plants I've had and I think no one talks about it and I just love it and people need to get one. Do it. Do it if you want a trailing one, and it makes a lovely noise. Okay, last but not least, I don't actually have one, but oh, sorry, my leg's gone dead. But I will be getting one as soon as I see one. So the last one is an alocasia wentii. Now you're probably thinking, alocasia, trauma, valid. Yes, I've only recently started to grow my alocasia collection back again because as an overwaterer, I don't always get the best luck with alocasia. So recently, I don't know if you can see, I've got 2 little babies there and another one there. They've all gone into semi-hydro, so a mix of fluval and perlite, and they seem to be doing okay. But the one alocasia, well, there's 2 actually, I'll mention that in a second. The main alocasia that I had no issues with, apart from spider mites, that's why it's not with me anymore, is the alocasia wentii. I'll put a photo here. This alocasia is so easy for some reason. It's so hardy. Not enough people talk about it. Maybe because it's like one of the more boring ones. I still think it's gorgeous. It's got that green, gorgeous, like big leaves, and it's got almost purple on the back. I just think it's wonderful. So as soon as I get one, I will be showing you. I haven't seen one in a while. They're usually too big. So if I see a smaller one, it's mine. And once I've done more research on semi-hydro, I will be doing a video in the future, but it won't be anytime soon, so don't hold your breath. I just want to make sure I've done all the research I need to do. And if you want another alocasia suggestion, the cucullata, also just as easy as the wentii. That one also suffered the thrips and spider mite outbreak many moons ago. But as soon as I see a new little baby one, I will be having one because I had no issues with that one either. So easy. So if you're scared of alocasia like me, get those guys. And the best part is they're usually like considered the common ones, so they're nice and cheap and easy to find. I think I even saw them in supermarkets once. So yeah, that's my underrated houseplants for the moment. I've tried to keep it, you know, not too expensive, because I know there are some underrated houseplants that are really expensive, but I'm like, I don't have them because they're expensive. So let me know what your underrated houseplants are, drop them down below, and maybe it'll give us some inspiration to get more plants. Treat yourself. So I'll leave all my social medias down below as usual. I hope you have a lovely day, evening, whatever it is, wherever you are, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.